Hey guys, I'm back with another video. On this episode of Engine Killer, I'll be continuing my perimeter wall build for Legions Imperialis. On this one, I'm going to start working on the destroyed wall section. Before I get started, I need to set up my crafting area. From there, I need to take stock of all the bits that I want to use and see exactly what I have as far as styrofoam pieces that are already cut and plasticard bits that I want to use, other pieces from Games Workshop. I'd already had the two main wall pieces cut and glued to their bases, but I need to make two smaller bases for the end pieces. Before I glue the end pieces on, I just want to make sure that the pieces all line up and have the right size and everything. Here I'm just going through my bag of offcuts and trying to find something else that I can use to put at the base of this destroyed wall section. Well, and really it's just going to be an end piece that'll go next to one of the other walls. You can see I'm getting close to running out of liquid nails here. At this point, I'm just taking chunks of smaller pieces of foam that I'd already cut, kind of gluing those here and there for the larger pieces of rubble. Ideally, you want it to be wide enough for the Warlord Titan to be able to walk through. And so this is where I encountered my first problem. One of the walls that I'd made already not wide enough for the Warlord to fit through. So I had to go ahead and mark that so that I could cut it. Yeah, I always try to make sure that I'm wearing my mask before I start using the hot wire foam cutter. The fumes are pretty bad. Perfect. Now the Warlord can fit through the destroyed wall section. I also need some bits that kind of look more like they were used for construction. Things that I can use that look kind of like metal bars and that sort of thing. The sprues are going to work perfect for that, I think. So here I'm just kind of going through trying to find all the sprues that I have that are that have a lot of squares on them, which a lot of the Legions Imperialis sprues do. So that's great. So I can use those and just clip off the ends and trim them down, and I think those will work great. I'm also making sure to save all of the offcuts that I get from that, because I can probably use a lot of those for rubble as well. Just going through and trimming all the sprues. Yeah, it took quite a while. And then I didn't really even end up using that much of the sprues. Well, at least not in this video. this really cool piece of terrain from Games Workshop. It's like basically just a pile of rubble from one of the 40k scale ruins. I really like this piece, and I think it'll look really good in between my wall pillars here. But I feel like it's just a little too high and needs to be kind of trimmed down. I initially started trying to do that with my razor blade. That was just going to take way too long to do it that way. So in the end, I ended up just clamping it to my workbench outside and taking the Dremel to it, and that worked out pretty well and got it done pretty fast. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way that came out. Now it sits in there much closer to the base with a lower profile, easier for the Titans to walk over. And then now I'm just gluing some other large pieces of foam in there, kind of just all around it to make it look like the whole wall has just been reduced to these giant chunks of concrete. This really big plastic tube, and I definitely wanted to use that. So what I did was I went through and I put a small section on each of the pillars, just kind of so that it looked kind of like it was coming and going from the same place to and from, and then got destroyed there, and just kind of tried to make it look a little mangled on the edge that pokes out from the wall. And some of those I kind of melted the edges a little bit just to kind of help shape it. I've got like a little pile of cabling left over from Reaver Titan weapons that were just never used. I'll add a bunch of those later on. I don't think I'll add any in this video, but eventually I'll get around to it. I've also got some other plastic bits over there plastic card bits from Woodland Scenics. And those are just, I think for the most part, those are for like scale railroad models, I-beams and trusses. Just got back from the hardware store where I got a brand new tube of liquid nails, and now I'm going through and adding just large piles of aquarium gravel, which makes for really good, just really large chunks of rubble. Alright, so this is looking pretty good so far. I think on the next video we'll add some more details to the top. More debris, a lot more detail to the insides of the pillars, some finer rubble around the bases and that kind of thing. I'll see you then. Cheers.